Alrighty, let's do some Sasquatch tales. I think it was April 1st this year. I was camping at Pony Bridge on the Enchanted Valley Trail of the Olympic National Park. And I'd never camped there before, and I was very concerned about the animal traffic at the bridge. So I went into my tent at before dark. I forget what time it was. And about 5 or 10 minutes after I got in my tent, I heard and felt these footsteps on the bridge coming towards me. So it sounded like 2 or 3 Sasquatches on the bridge. And you can tell because they're so heavy, they're like earthquakes on the bridge. And so as usual, they just came over and checked me out. They don't want to be seen, heard. There's no, they don't want you to even know they're there. They're just curious, and thankfully they're friendly. So I went to sleep for a couple hours, and I got up about 10:30, and it was a beautiful night, stars and everything out. And so I got out of my tent and made some hot tea with ginger and turmeric, and I had a carrot nut muffin. Enjoyed the night for about half an hour, I guess. And then I went back in my tent and laid down. I was reading the Bible, and just like I'm sitting there, I'm laying there reading, just having a great time reading, and all of a sudden I just smell this odor outside of my tent. I'm like, what is that? It smelled like fresh poop. So I'm just assuming it was a Sasquatch standing 3 feet away from my tent. And it had poop, fresh poop right there on its leg. So anyways, I didn't say anything. And the next day I went for a hike, and hiked to O'Neill Creek and turned around and came back. And then I packed up my tent from Pony Bridge and hiked out the last 2 miles. Might have been in the dark, close to dark. So it was a long day. So when I got into my tent to rest back at Pony Bridge, before I packed it up, I get in my tent, I'm just relaxing, and sure enough, I hear footsteps again right outside of my tent. It's like, wow, these guys are really curious. But this time, I opened my tent to have a look. And I opened my tent and there's nothing there. So, probably invisible, that's what I would say. I didn't hear anything running away, so that was my assumption. So that was that trip. That was April 1st, April 2nd. And another tale, another story was, might have been this May. I was on a trail in Gold Bar, Washington, and I was going to camp, and there was still a lot of snow up there at the lakes. But I didn't know there was that much snow. The rangers didn't tell me there was, still 5 feet of snow where I was going to go camping. I don't think anybody had been up there. So I walked all the way up to the lake. It was about 4 or 5 miles. And the trail ended. It was just snow. I didn't feel like camping in the snow. So I turned around and walked all the way back to my car. And about a half mile before my car, I had internet reception from Gold Bar. So I turned on some music, Irene Cara, and then I heard something rustling in the forest near me, and I figured, oh, that might be a Sasquatch just hanging out with me. And so I just walked back to my car and was driving away. It was dark and the gate was closed for the trail. So I had to get out of my car and open the gate and then close it up again when I drove out. And after I closed the gate, I forget if I was going, I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but there was 3 boom boom booms on the back of my trunk. So that was cool, and my first reaction was, hello? So I think I was getting into my car leaving, and so that was a Sasquatch saying goodbye to me, like, yep, we've been hanging out with you. And I finally figured that out when I was driving away. I'm like, what could that have been? And then I figured it out. It was just a Sasquatch, you know, patting my trunk hood. Let me know that, 'cause I've been there for like 3 years now, hanging out in that area, Gold Bar. So they recognize me, they know me. So anyways, that's 2 Sasquatch tales. Another one, get even more bizarre, would be I had a room rental in Sultan, and my bed frame got bent, like something heavy was sitting on it. So the only conclusion I've drawn is that a Sasquatch got all the way into my bedroom and sat on my bed and bent my bed frame. No joke. So anyway, see if I have any other tales. Well, I told you about this. I'm at Barclay Lake right now, and last September I was here camping, and I was camped like right there behind those trees. Or no, I was camped right down there on the beach here. And then shortly after I got into my tent, I heard the earthquake footsteps right here behind these trees. So the Sasquatches were like 50, 100 feet away from me. They were just, because I have lanterns when I camp, 1 or 2 night lights. I don't always sleep in the dark. I usually don't, because I'm a pansy. Anyways, I like to at least see things that are 30 feet away from me. So anyways, that evening right here, I heard the earthquake footsteps. So they were just checking me out. And same thing, they don't say anything. They don't even want you to know they're there. They're just checking you out. And that same afternoon, I saw some huge footprints right here on this beach, which I made a video for. It's called Barclay Lake Part 1. Anyway, so those are some tales, and it's like my comment about Sasquatches. How is the government or people gonna do anything about Sasquatch when they're freaking paranormal, dude? I mean, you call it dimensions or whatever you want to call it, but you know, you're dealing with a paranormal being. And let's see, the males are what, 11 feet tall, 1,000 pounds, and the females are 8 feet tall and 800 pounds. I mean, you don't want to mess with these creatures. So anyways, it's a beautiful summer day here at Barclay. Y'all take care. Don't forget your bear spray when you go in the wilderness. It helps.